Ymasumac Marañón, Pocket Stories in 3 parts. Ámame para que yo te ame. Si tú no me amas, mi amor jamás llegará a ti. Our roots move through us, show up in our movements, our choices, how we dance, how we play. My roots have always shown up in my voice. What I choose to say, how I choose to say it, it comes from a deep place inside. I was born long ago in the hills of Vermont, in the mountain peaks of the Andes, a voice that refused to go unheard. Amame. Part 1. My father, solid brown tree. Thick roots anchored him to the earth. Pachamama, he would say. She always takes care of us. The earth, her energy, our divine creator, will always find a way to speak through us. We just have to listen and trust her voice when we hear it inside. For my father, she was a roar in his ears. He had to let her out or be destroyed. He had no counselor to guide him, just the sheer force of Pachamama, wanting a voice on this earth that was unafraid to speak out in courage, so he did. When he was 10, his baby sister was born. Already there were problems. First, she was another girl, and she was bien morenita. Took after the Indian blood. Mama Crucesa, like most of us, a woman of great contradictions, outspoken on women's rights, a fierce defender of the rights of her people, the Quechua, Aymara. After all, indigenous people are one. Mama Crucesa longed for boys, and light skin was always better. Right away, La Negra cried and cried, colicky, picking up on the energy of contradiction, disappointment, difficulties. The body always responds to the energy around. After a few months of crying, Mama Crucesa, tired of trying to find ways to appease this strong-willed child, left cracking clay pots to crash. Manuda, she would say. She is just wanting attention and is trying to manipulate. Deep inside, my father, a voice rumbled to be heard. He knew he must act. He decided to take care of Negrita himself. He picked her up, wrapped her in llama fur, and took her to the white doctor in town. He took the white medicine and carefully administered it to his sister, putting the drops in her ear. Inti rose and fell. She was better, and her crying stopped. Her hearing in her right ear now had been damaged permanently. The legacy of the conquistadores, my father would say. Amame. Part 2. My mother, an earth walker, started in New England, traveled to Europe, lived in South America, working for the U.S. Embassy, but always for and with the people. Illegitimate gypsy blood, explorer by nature. For my mother, having children meant travel companions. By the time I was 8, we had lived in 3 states, and were now living in the land of her ancestors. People who came at the time of the Pilgrims, Lord North, my Aunt Jeannie would say, our great-great-great-uncle. A scoundrel, my mother would say. I had felt the scars of history deeply in the center of my heart, even as a young girl. I knew there was a seething anger, a tight-lipped fear that was held back. This fear of really not belonging was not conscious. How do a people take what's theirs and live in peace? They don't. How do a people become systematically dehumanized and live in wholeness? They don't. Ancestral memory poured through me. I knew they were sad, and I was their reminder. Never dark enough to be Indian, never light enough to be white. I would run with my classmates at school, but I knew I was the reminder of their fear, the fear that they were wrong. I knew I could not be one of them. My hair wasn't blonde enough, my eyes blue enough, my skin too tan like a tree. I would never make it in until one day, an Inuit woman came to our class to share with us about the Eskimo people. She had long, black, straight hair, thick, short, stocky like my full-blood sister, not tall and gangly like me. And when she reached out to hold my hand, our skin matched and bled into each other. I was memorized. In La Quech, I would years later find out, tú eres mi otro yo. You are my other me. For once, I was the center of the universe, and everyone wanted to be like me. I found my mirror. Amame. Part 3. Firstborn son, the firstborn of love. Wherever he can find it, it is there, waiting to wrap him up. He will have to look through the folds of unrest, scars left from ancestral rage, fear-driven conquistadores and pilgrims raping women in land, oppressing not to be oppressed. He will hear the clash of his father and mother, his father's African righteous anger, his mother indigenous righteous anger, and the contradiction of voices clanging inside European ancestors. The youngest brother, the elders would say. He is rebellious and arrogant like a younger brother. They all find a way to wrap around the belly and squeeze tight. Firstborn son will have to push through the folds of unrest. He will find love. It is there. And when he does, he will hold its golden string, a thin running light between his thumb and his forefinger. He will almost forget it's there. And when he is in trouble, he will have to go through the folds of unrest again to find the string of love that will connect him to love, to spirit. Ámame para que yo te ame. Si tú no me amas, mi amor jamás llegará a